Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming in for a heart to heart. I forgot to put heart to heart in the title, but that's what it is. It's a heart to heart video. We haven't had one in a long, long time. People have been requesting them. So I'm sorry that we've been waiting so long for one because believe me, they're therapeutic for me as well. So I'm glad you're here. I did a couple of videos today and I decided to straighten my hair for you and put some makeup on and come on and do a heart to heart just to see how everyone's doing. I hope that I enabled the chat correctly and everything. Every time I take a bit of a hiatus from doing live streams on YouTube, something changes. I don't know if I should have done webcam or stream or what I did. Maybe I chose it wrong, but it asked for a whole lot of questions that I wasn't even aware. I mean, the whole interface was different. So I hope you can sympathize with those of us who are a little bit on the lagging of tech savviness, so to speak. But that's what I decided to do today, and I guess we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Because gosh, I could talk all night long, and just wander on and off. As I said, mind blades, because I start thinking about these things that are bothering me and that are making me happy, and I could just talk about them all the time. I've had suggestions about things to talk about, and we can talk about that if you want to. I've been I've been asked about doing one on my background, my heritage, and I'm waiting to do that one because I did get a 23andMe done. My son got one done not too long ago. Last year, not for himself. He uh, had them done from his grandparents. So my mother and my mother-in-law did the 23andMe and on his request, and he paid for it and everything because he wanted to investigate that, and we found out some wonderful, interesting things about my mother and my mother-in-law and their heritage and their lineage or whatever. And it's just great to know that because I didn't know, but he told me that the grandparents actually hold many more clues than even the parents. And I think that's where his curiosity was coming from, is for his children. He now has two children. So I will probably do a background. What's my background? What's my heritage? Though I know what it is pretty much. And I told him what his was as well. I said, see, I was right on it. I was right on it. I said, you're going to be 50% Native American, 50% European. And that's exactly what it was, pretty much. Of course, they go into a lot more detail. So I can't wait to get mine. It should be probably another, I would say no more than 2 weeks. You know how they actually keep you abreast and they start telling you, we received your DNA, we're breaking it up, we're doing this, we're doing that. Have you guys ever had that done? It's fascinating. And I haven't even gotten the results yet. And I was fascinated by the questions because then you can also agree to have them use your DNA for research and whatnot. And if you agree to that, then you get a whole bunch more questions. And boy, I was into about an hour's worth of questions when I finally said, you know what, I don't want to answer anymore whether I smoke 10 cigarettes or one cigarette after work or not, because that's how detailed they get. So let me see who's in the chat and say hello. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know my friendly faces are in the chat, like Makeup Zombie. How are you, Miss Liz? I'm glad you're here. Hi, Miss Hogue. How are you? Anna Gonzalez is here. Laura Ashley Garcia. Oh, I can't wait to do it either. I'm thinking I'm going to, that was really popular about 2 years ago on YouTube. Everyone was doing them. They were doing them live. They were unboxing the whole thing. So it's so funny, but it says, when you sign up for it and you send your payment, be aware that you may find out things that you find disheartening or upsetting, and it's not even the health one. Gosh, I wouldn't even want to do that one, but it's just pretty much just your heritage. So, I guess you could find out you came from somewhere you don't like, maybe. I don't know. What would be wrong? I don't know. Hi, Becky. Thank you. I straightened it just for you guys. I used that. That's another thing I was thinking last time it's such a science to sell products, especially kind of, what do they call it? I think kind of like a cold call. And I remember the guy that sold me this straightener at the it wasn't the cheese straightener. Remember the cheese straighteners? This is one that has air, hot air blowing through it. I forgot the name of it. But he sold me that, and he I think it was $100 or something. I mean, it was outrageous prices. And then the oil that went with it, and the oil is like, oh my gosh, I wish it was perfume because it smells so good, and it worked really, really nice. I've never been able to replace the oil again, but that's another thing that was going through my mind. Every time I use that thing, I'm like, man, I fell for the sales pitch, you know? Definitely a science, but I like it. So thank you, Becky. Let me see who else is here. Moon Goddess Treasures is here. Oh, thank you, Moon Goddess Treasures. You're so sweet, Miss Crystal. Hey, Doug, how are you? I hope you had an awesome auction. I cannot believe those wonderful things in your preview. And I did go to your shop and see all that wonderful amber over on Etsy. Oh my goodness. I was bidding on some amber right now over at Gina's auction. She's having an auction right now. But I had to bow out at about 60. I have a lot of amber myself, but I'm very curious about it. I love it. I just I love investigating all the different colors that they come in. And then Makeup Zombie had an interesting piece yesterday at her auction that had like black striations in it. I don't know if you've seen that one. And I had bought a piece, a Native American piece that the lady told me was amber. And I kept looking at it and thinking, it does not look like amber. But now we see it comes in so many different things. You had your DNA ancestry done as well. Awesome. What did you enjoy about it? I think I've enjoyed the fact that the one that, like I said, the 23andMe that my son got, he keeps getting updates. He actually keeps getting updates about, well, now we know that the 10% of this European heritage is actually Italian, and then so much Native American. They don't really get specific with the Native American. They do get the regions more or less, but I forgot. And I was actually going to invite him to come on. Not, he won't come on, I don't think, person to person, but I thought maybe he could do like a little, um, a little avatar talk with me and kind of not explain it to me, but I feel like he knows a little bit more about it than I do. And his wife is actually what is she? Biophysics PhD. So she was really into it. So I think the fact that they wanted to do it so much with the grandparents that really prompted me to want to do it for my grandkids as well. Hey Jude, how are you? You had your DNA done too? Awesome. What did you find out? What did you find out that you didn't know? Because I feel like this is, I think, the most interesting thing, because my son was like, well, this is what we found out. He sent me the comments. I told you that. And he said, yeah, but we get all the little parts and stuff. So I think that's pretty interesting. What did you find out, Miss Jude? I know some people have been saying that they find out that they're Irish. They had no idea they were Irish. They had no idea there was this much of that. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's fascinating that they can even do that. It's so crazy. And then my son was telling me he had it done for his dog too, because he has a mutt. And he was, he mentioned some shepherd that I've never heard of, and then he found the picture of it, because when I visited, I met the dog for the first time, and a beautiful dog. And he says, "Look, see, he looks just like this shepherd." And I don't know what kind. It wasn't a German shepherd, some other kind of shepherd. So I thought that was pretty cool. That yeah, you're right. It does look a lot like that kind of a shepherd. It's a very handsome dog, short-haired, tall, kind of black and white, kind of some white spotting in the front, and just a really handsome face. Let me see who else joined me. No surprises. England, right down to the specific county, and Scottish Irish. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I've been told, so we'll speak a little bit about the background, but I've been told, and I have a picture of my great grandparents right here, that that was my grandmother's, and when she passed, we got that picture, and those would be her in-laws. And my elder sister, she kind of has always been really curious, and she tells me that she asked my grandmother some questions and found out some things, and that they told her My great-great-grandmother was Pueblo Indian, and that's what they refer to, Pueblo Indian, Native American, and she totally looks it. She really does. She's got some really strong ethnocentric type features, but, I'm not sure. And then on my dad's side, well, they were all born in the US, but the US or Texas before statehood as well. So it's quite interesting that they're all born in the US, but it was definitely before, statehood and things like that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see all the specifics. And my grandparents, my grandfather had blue eyes, very fair. My grandmother was definitely more olive skin tone, dark hair. And then I have cousins that range from redheads with green eyes, a couple of blondes with blue eyes, and then some very dark features on others, some from the same family. And I have cousins that look very Asian as well, that really strong ethnic Native American, I guess you could say, features that almost borderline on the Asian. And that's kind of where it comes so into, I mean, you really have to study all of this geographic history, honestly, to understand it. But I'm fascinated by it, and I'm fascinated by my own family and how much, like I said, how much we differ from redheaded, green-eyed cousins. And I have probably 5 or 6 redheaded, green-eyed cousins and a couple of blondes and blue eyes, and then some that are very dark, olive skin toned, and so we're a variety. Your dad always told you were a Heinz 57 bar. Well, that's interesting too. We shall see what happens with mine. The Junking Data Girl. Hi, how are you? Your grandmother paternal's name was Wedge and was a first generation immigrant. What a cool name. What a cool name. My grandmother's name would translate to Gertrude, but it's actually Gertrudis in Spanish. And it's very interesting because there is a breed of cattle. I don't know if they're native to Texas or Mexico. I know the Longhorn is native to Mexico and was brought to Texas, but that is actually a breed of cattle that is marketed here in Texas, and that's her name, Gertrudis, and that's the exact name of that cattle. It's so interesting. And that was my father's mother. And my grandmother, my mother's mother, her name is Lenore, or as we would say it in Spanish, Leonor. Yeah. Yeah. We had to do that the other day I hate these team building things that we do at school. They're often really stupid. I think they tried to make it a little bit more fun for us this time when we went back. So it wasn't, we didn't have to pretend we were locked in the building or some stupid thing like that, or pretend you're invited to dinner with like some ethnic food that you would never eat, like was it Filipino, those little eggs that they some people eat with the little bird still in there, or the fetus, or whatever they call it. We used to have to pretend something like that. But this time they said, just get up and tell us where your name came from. What does your name mean? Where did it come from? Why were you named what you were named? So I had to get up there and tell them that my mother had a best friend named Thelma. Actually, not a best friend, but a friend or an acquaintance. And she admired her for some reason or other. She just thought she was very intelligent and very pretty. And her name was Thelma, so she named me Thelma. And she named my sister Patricia. And I always hated my name. And I said that in the team building at school. I said I was Thelma when everybody in my high school was Kimberly. And sorry for scratching my nose, guys. I don't know why it's so itchy today. Kimberly. And I think of all of these beautiful names from my high school cohorts. Kelly and Kimberly and Jennifer and just the prettiest names, and then mine was Thelma. But I finally got used to it. Someone once gave me a compliment after I was already like in my early 20s or so, and I just started liking my name a little bit more. Oh, I do too. You don't miss them at all. They're so, so boring. They really are. But I think they felt sorry for us because, all of these things we're going through with pandemics and virtual learning and hybrid learning and all of that stuff is such a mess. You lo- love on Ancestry that you can get in touch with all these DNA matches. Yes, I saw that from all around the world. And if they have a public tree, you can find out more information. Now that's on ancestry.com, or was that the 23andMe? I did the 23andMe. And I did sign up for mostly everything. I mean, I didn't pay extra for anything, but I said, yeah, I'll answer questions. But then I got stuck. Like I said, oh my gosh, they asked me everything. And they asked it so interesting about science, right? They ask you the same question, but a little bit different. And it just keeps probing and probing and probing. Like, well, how many times a week do you eat meat? Well, if you had a preference, would you eat meat or would you eat fish? Well, what kind of meat do you eat more pork? Oh my gosh. I finally just got so tired and I stopped answering the questions. And they keep sending me emails to answer just one more question. Just answer one more question. And I probably will when I can. Ancestry. Okay. They use it for research regardless. Yes, exactly. Hi, Carrie. I'm a BT. What's a bitsa? Where are you, Carrie? How are you? Carrie is in Australia, guys, and she has been going nuts over there on lockdown. And I don't keep up with the news too much, guys, but I know it's hectic everywhere. It's hell everywhere. And in some places, much more so than others. So believe me, my heart is with you, Carrie. And it's just, it's like something we can't control. So we just gotta, I have to just not think about it. Then I think about it, but I don't live there. I can't live there because I won't function. You have a friend who discovered extended family in Ireland and Greece and went and met them all. That is so awesome. That would be so awesome. It's so interesting though, but I've been out of the country only I've never really been anywhere except Mexico City, Acapulco, those kinds of places, touristy places. But my sister has traveled more than I have. And she was in Korea when her husband was in the army. She lived in Korea, I think 4 years, 3 or 4 years. And she ran into people she knew there in Seoul from Texas. It's just so crazy. Have you guys ever done that? Been in another country or even at an airport and run into somebody that you hadn't seen in forever? Maybe high school or something. Hi, Timeless Charm by Kate. You're in the Philippines? Donatella, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Well, I thought that was really crazy when that happens. And it happens. I know of some other people I knew that went to, where were they? I think they went to Germany. And they found some people. They had moved from Illinois to Texas, and they visited Germany, and they found some people visiting Germany from Illinois. Have you heard of 6 degrees of separation? I have heard that term. Refresh my memory about that, Carrie. I have heard that term. Wasn't it a movie? Or is it just a phenomenal thing or did they do a movie about this phenomenon? But yeah, that's never happened to me that I can remember. My memory's getting kind of crazy, but that I can remember, I don't remember seeing anybody far, far away. It's funny though, but I keep maybe because I went back to a different kind of classroom this year, but I've been dreaming a lot about people that I knew 10 years ago. Kevin Bacon, yes, okay. Then I'll have to look for that. What was it? 6 degrees of separation? 6 degrees of separation. I'll have to look for that movie and watch it. Hi, Jules. How are you? Yeah, so I'm back at school. I started last week. I had a little rough bump as usual. You believe in 6 degrees of separation as well. Now Donatella hails all the way from Italia. So have you ever run into anybody you knew, Donatella, in Italy here in the US? Whether they're visiting as tourists or now living here? The theory is that no matter where you go, if you turn 6 degrees, you'll find someone you know. Yeah, that's quite interesting. It really is. And every six strangers you know will know someone you know. Yeah, that's possibly true. And speaking of family, my father was very big on, it's very interesting, but as people marry into other families and other cultures, and that's very prevalent and it's a very wonderful thing, people's dynamics change. And my family is very close. As I was growing up, we went to Christmas at my grandmother's. All the adults went to Christmas with their families to the grandmothers. And we had two grandmothers to visit, and they were about 2 hours away from each other. So that is one trek we always did. And my father was really big on knowing your family, knowing your extended family. And he would always say, oh, my mother told us once that one of the reasons he thought that was really important. He says, because I wouldn't want you guys to be, grown up as teenagers and maybe go to a dance or somewhere or start dating someone. And then you come to realize it's your brother, I mean, your brother's cousin or an extended cousin, even if it's a second cousin, it was just kind of like, not done, right? So I just wouldn't want anything like that to happen. So he was always really big on family get-togethers. And it wasn't until my grandparents passed that kind of ceased a little bit when my two maternal grandmothers finally passed, because we always did that. We always got together on Christmas and Easter. We used to rent an old what's the name of that group that's not Girl Scouts, but it's kind of like a little like different fires campfire girls. Campfire Girls. I think it's Campfire Girls. Well, my aunt was a den mother there, whatever they call them for Campfire Girls. So she would rent out that entire camp that had log cabins, like I think 10, and had like a main mess hall or whatever. We'd rent it every Easter and we would fill it. We would fill it, and there would be 50. One time I counted just the cousins. We took a picture, 50 of us. 50 of us. And so we were really, really close. And I love that. And I miss that about the way things change. I know when people marry other people and they're not that way in their family, and they kind of think like, oh, no, we can't. Why would we go visit a cousin that we only see, or they don't understand it. I don't know. Is your family close like that? Or is that just, something that's old and old fashioned? I don't know. I kind of miss it. I really, really miss it. I wish my children were closer to their cousins. They are really close to the extended, my sister's children, but not beyond that. And we were very, very close. As a matter of fact, I just lost a cousin to COVID, and she was only 56 years old. And I just lost her Tuesday. And it's crazy, but Facebook keeps us together. Facebook gives us the news, and we communicated. Her and I communicated all the time through Facebook. She would compliment my grandkids. Oh, they're so cute, and this and the other. And I can't believe that you let your hair go white, Thelma, but you look good in it, or something like that, And she was just a sweetheart. My mother's brother's daughter and first cousin. So we lost her on Tuesday. But that's what I mean by, how close we were. We never just were like, oh, well, who's that cousin? We just really knew each other. And unfortunately, we found this news out through Facebook, and her mother posted that she had lost her battle with COVID, and she had asked for prayers like 2 nights before and everything. And then her mother's not even in the same city as her, and oh my gosh, it was just thank you very much. Very, very devastating. But again, just kind of a little way to convey to you what I mean by being close to your family. And I remember my sister and I used to fight over her because she was a doll. She was a living doll when she was a baby, and we were about what 10 years old, and we wanted to carry her and we would spoil her and play with her, and she was just so cute in her pigtails and everything. And I remember that they would come visit all the time. And again, those Christmases, we never failed. We were with our grandparents every Christmas. Thank you, Donatella. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you, John. I appreciate everyone's thoughts. Your family is very close, Miss Elizabeth. Exactly, exactly. That's the way we were. That's the way we were as well, and we still are. And like I said, if it's say what you will about Facebook, we all know it can be very demonic and the root of all things evil. But it has replaced the telephone, and I mean maybe that's detrimental too, but it really has kept us in touch. We know who's battling this or who's battling that, who had a baby, who graduated, who's becoming a doctor. We have cousins that are becoming doctors, cousins that, you know, join the military and their ways of life. They're rural. I have true cowboy cousins. I mean, they have ranches, they have cattle, they love their lifestyle, and I envy it many times. But I've always been a city girl. I don't know if I could ever live that life. And they come to a smaller city. I used to live in Corpus, which is a much smaller city, and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, how can you stand it here? How can you even stand it here? Everywhere you go is 20, just to get your mail, it's a 20-minute drive." So, but and then I go over there and I look at their beautiful sunsets and go to bed with silence, absolute silence, and you can see the stars, every single star. You look up and it's just incredible. It's beautiful. I think family is something that's our only real treasure, isn't it? Let me see what else you guys are saying, because I'm just rambling. Neville. Hi, Neville. Jane. Phone calls are so much better. Oh, absolutely. Many times I will ignore texts. I want a phone call. I had my birthday in July, and I got a couple of texts and I ignored them. And then they finally called me. Well, thank you, Jane. I'm glad you're here live. Yeah. Your siblings now are not close, but my hubby's, they are a clan, and there are loads of them. That is awesome. That is awesome. Cousins are the best. Absolutely. She found out about a secret older brother her mom had after her mom had died. That's so incredible. To find out that much information is just unreal. Jules says, my maternal grand was the oldest and coolest of 20, but I have no kids, so small. Immediate family. Well, that's when an immediate family is so important. Grew up blessed with the same extended family experience. I miss it now. Yeah. I just don't, like I said, I'm taken aback when I hear things like, oh, well, you buy, like, I mean, it's not about the presents either, really, but I remember hearing, oh, you buy presents for your aunt, or something like that. It's not about that. It's just about thoughts, right? And again, I think we've gone beyond presents and, with economics the way it is right now, but just a card means so much to someone who cares about you and thinks about you. My mother has always said that. She says, I get such a thrill getting a card from my grandchildren or from her brothers or somebody who just says, "Hey, I'm thinking about you." Doesn't matter if you send her another pair of house shoes or a house coat. Let me see. Looks like we have about 35 people here, 28 thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. I know it's been a long time since we've done a heart to heart. I'll try to do more of them more often. They really, I don't know, they kind of come a little bit slower because I've been trying to fix my internet, which has been a pain, as you know, and I'm supposed to get a modem sometime today. They said anytime today. I haven't gotten it yet. I think they're just going to drop it off. But I did get a new system, so I'm hoping the stream is not buffering because this buffering thing's been going on for way too long. Way too long. Let me see where else we are. So you can actually see her after almost dying from second bout of COVID. My desire to reconnect with family has grown. But I have a small immediate family. I grew apart from them when I was older, now trying hard to reconnect. Well, keep trying, Jules. Keep trying. It's important. I think it's important. I know that sometimes we have family members that can be not very pleasant to be around, and you don't have to be around them, honestly. But those that are good to you and those that make you feel good and reconnect to those family ties, I think that's just amazing when you can preserve that. Your cousins all live in Italy. Donatella actually brought us some wonderful footage from Italy when the pandemic first hit in the spring of 2020, wasn't it? And it was quite an insight into what they were going through because they were one of the first to get locked down. So, wow, how close we can get to the other side of the world, right? With just this medium, YouTube, and the internet in general. Yeah, and then I found out remember I used to work at a autism clinic. I was a therapist over at the autism clinic. I found out one of my patients, and we refer to them as patients for insurance reasons. Insurance is so, I hate that too. For insurance reasons, we called them patients, but it was pretty much a school. She has COVID too. She's 20. Now, she had some underlying issues, though, aside from severe autism. She had seizure disorders and other things like that. So I don't know, but mom said she was doing okay. So I'm hoping and praying that she recovers. She's only 20 years old. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, she was quite my initiation into ABA therapy. And that's kind of what I'm really practicing right now too. Well, using my skills quite a bit because I'm now in a new classroom. I'm in a life skills classroom. Whereas last year I was in a pretty much co-teacher position, resource position. This time right now I have 6. I may have up to 8 in a couple of months because I have some children coming from Saudi Arabia and they're traveling. So the children have, I think, 2, yes, just 2. But I don't know if the one that's traveling has Downs as well, but 2 of them have been diagnosed with Down syndrome. They are 8th grade and 6th grade. And then I have a couple of children with autism, the other 2. And they are just a delight and they are a challenge, but it's more so getting acclimated to what I've never done before, and that is work with 2 other people. That is that is not the easiest thing for me to do. In the same room with the same, objective, I've never done that before, and I've worked as a paraprofessional. I've worked in the field as a paraprofessional. That's what kind of, gave me my foray into wanting to be certified for a teacher of record. So, but it's not the same. And I've worked for people that don't know how to manage people and don't know how to talk to people, and I don't want to be that people. I don't want to be that people. So it's going to take some skills. It's going to take a nice little ballet for me to work with these people that I have working alongside with me, my paraprofessionals. They're wonderful people. They're very, very knowledgeable. But as is the case with many, clashing personalities sometimes, it's hard for someone who just stepped into this position, honestly, put into this position because I was pretty much told we really need you in this classroom because there are over a dozen openings in the district. And every time someone applies for that position, someone else snatches them up. So that's where I'm at right now. The other people we might have. Yes, that's what we've all agreed upon. The more difficult thing are the parents and the paraprofessionals that you have to work with. And it's not because I think it's because you get to know each other. First of all, let me just be gracious in saying that you need to get to know each other. You need to get to know what words are going to and then I can come off a little brash. I understand that. I really, really do. I have had this personality come and bite me in the butt since I was in first grade. Since I was in first grade, and I went to school with in Catholic school and with nuns, and Carrie and I have talked about that. And my mother can attest to the fact that the nuns would call her and say, "I don't like the way Thelma looks at me, and I don't like the way she talks to me." And my mother would say, "Well, I can't change her look." And, so I know how I can come off. So I have to learn to attenuate some of my directives. And even though I don't raise my voice, I don't, but I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm saying something to direct the child. So I don't need for someone to come in and say, "Well, we always did it this way," or "They know how to do this," or something like that. I don't want to have to, I just don't want to have to redirect the other person. I just want to direct the children. So yeah, it's very difficult, and I so respect their intelligence. I know that they know a lot, but they also have to get to know me and my style and how I'm going to be trying to shape these children's behaviors, because in a way that's what we're doing here. This is a life skills classroom. We want them to learn what they can to function in the world and be able to be self-sufficient with all of their deficits and difficulties and intellectual disabilities. So I'm going to do it my way, and I have to do it my way. I can't have three people telling the child how to do something that may be contradictory. I do. Thank you, Carrie, for being so honest with me. I sound unsure. Yeah, I guess I am because I haven't actually worked as the teacher of record in a life skills classroom. I have not. I have not, and I think I'm unsure because the software is new. They haven't even trained me for the software. The software is completely different from what I did in my other classroom. And on top of that, I still have to do the other software. I still have to do the other data and more data, and then this other data unique to that classroom. So that's the part that I'm unsure of, and I think that's where my dance comes in that they don't know that. They've never done that paperwork, so it's not that they can help me with, but I think I'm preoccupied with that. I'm preoccupied with, and then it's so crazy because my principals, my deans, come in and tell me, "Don't worry about it. We'll get to that. You're just doing your best you can. Do what you have to do. Take the data that you can take. Have a good time. Have fun with these kids. Teach them something. If you can teach them something, we've had a great day. But I can't see myself like that. I feel like these kids are in my charge, and I just cannot see myself just, plopping them in front of a computer. And we just got the computers running today, their particular Chromebooks with their little things. So no, I'm not satisfied with just that. And so, yeah. Overthinking it is what I do. Absolutely. And I have to stop overthinking about whether these people, I shouldn't say it like that, whether my paraprofessionals are going to, should, should I care? Should I care if they like me? I shouldn't care. I know I shouldn't care. But I want us to be cohesive. I think we can work better that way. I really do, even though I don't think I've ever seen a classroom that's been completely cohesive with paraprofessionals. There's always somebody who is upset or whatnot. But anyway, now just talk about me. Let's talk about y'all. Let's talk about y'all. What are y'all doing? Has anybody been affected by the horrible weather? My prayers are with you. If you have, I'm so sorry about what's happening in Louisiana. It's turning into a mess. I gotta be myself. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Absolutely. But I really feel like I need to, I don't know, go pull out my industrial psychology book and just read a little bit about people and respect and cultural differences and that kind of thing. I think that's important. Because I worked for people when I was a paraprofessional. I'm still thinking, and I'll give you a horror story. Because this lady that I worked for, she was younger than me, much younger than me. She hadn't even had children yet when I worked for her. She hadn't even had children yet, so she was probably 35. And she was brilliant. She was an absolute brilliant teacher in special education. She ran the autism classroom, and we had 6 severe children that they were elopers. One of them actually unfortunately passed. I think I've related to you in a couple of my videos, because he was an eloper and didn't pass when we had him or when he was in our grade. He was already, I think, 14 or 13 going on 14 when, because of his elopement tendencies where he would just run off, he actually got hit and killed by a car. So this girl, this lady, this woman ran this classroom, and she ran it very tight. She was brilliant. She taught me so much about ABA and how to direct the behavior and teach these children, and we did. But she was horrible with people, and she would degrade people. And I remember one horrible thing she did to me was my youngest was in kindergarten or first grade. She was still in elementary school, maybe first, second grade. And we do this thing called Donuts with Dads and was it Muffins with Mom or something like that. So it's a day where your kid goes to school with you basically for the first hour, and you go have breakfast with them. So I called in late for that function. So it seems trivial, but it really made me feel really bad because she was upset that I called in late, and she just lashed out at me and said, how could you call in for that? And I was like, you didn't say anything about so-and-so, my other para who worked with me when he was absent for, this or the other. And then she said, well, that was his best friend's, whatever he had to go to. And granted, it may have been more serious, but this was important to me. I wanted to be at my daughter's function. She said, but muffins for Mom, and I was thinking, like, I never want to be that. I never want to be someone who does their job really well. And she would even tell us, my husband tells me I can't manage people. But she was just like a monster. I dreaded coming to work every single day. Every single day, because I knew it was going to be something that Either it was 2 minutes too long on one station and we had to do it, and we were just learning. Both me and the other pair had just entered her classroom. So anyway, I don't want to be that. Have I gone on too long? Yes, I've been on 45 minutes. I don't want to be that kind of person. So I try really hard not to be that way, but I also have to be the one in charge. She sounds like she's on the spectrum. She could have been. She could have been. She could have been. I don't know. I don't know. But I learned a lot about teachers and the culture of special education teachers and all of that stuff. But I vowed never to be that way. First of all, if someone calls in, it's really not my business if they call in. They have 10 days to do whatever they want. If they want to go shopping, they can go shopping. I don't care. It's none of my business. I just that's the way I feel about it. I had a parent tell me today, I'm going to be absent on Wednesday. And I thought to myself, that's very nice of you to let me know. And so forth. There's going to be a substitute coming in. But you don't need to explain to me that you're going here or there. That's not even, I don't even care. It's not that I don't care, but it's not important. You're an adult. You make your decisions. You've been on both sides of that, honestly, monster and monster. Not proud of it, but it happened. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we're all human, and we're all gonna say and do stupid things around people. I have to, definitely. And I don't know. No one's perfect, but you learn from it. You learn from your own mistakes, your own way of talking to people. I know I've learned to first of all, I've learned to not talk in chats. We can talk about that now. I've learned not to talk in chats, and I keep learning not because people that I thought I knew, that I thought I could talk to, misunderstand my gist in a chat. They can't see my face. They can't hear my tone of voice. They read it when it's coming in after the question that was originally asked. So it's horrible. I've really become a certified lurker in videos because I can't do it anymore. It's turned into such a horrible culture of he said, she said, and what do you mean by that? Or like if I say, I used to, if someone was showing something of jewelry and I could see that it was something else, I would put it in, oh no, it's not abalone, it's mother of pearl. Or no, that's actually Mexican alpaca, not sterling silver. And the people in the auction would take offense. And if the people in the auction didn't take offense, someone in the chat would take offense. And then someone in the chat takes offense, and 5 other people say, yeah, she's right. I'm with her. Team Susan Smith. So it's turned into there's my alarm, guys. Still hasn't stopped. Where is that watch? I need to wear that accurate watch. Oh my gosh, that thing always rings. Can y'all hear it? So it's turned really horrible. That's what I'm saying. Even in the chat right here, things can get weird. But yeah, not too long ago, I was in a couple of auctions and I just could not believe it. Someone said something just off the cuff, tongue in cheek. Someone took it seriously and then was really upset about it, even though that other person had said something a little smart before. Then 5 other people sided with that person. And before you know it, the whole chat is like, what? Toxic. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hi, Perla. How are you, Miss Perla? Perla, did you ever do an auction? I know you talked about it. Um, I was just wondering because I remember a couple of months ago you talked about wanting to do one, and I think you were going to go on with Patsy Craftsy. Let us know when you do because we love your taste and we would love to go see what you bring. Miss Perla has a channel, guys. Go subscribe to her. She loves all things vintage. She loves jewelry and beautiful frilly things. And that would be fun. That sounds like an Irish party. Really? Oh my God. That's so funny. Miss Carrie, I have to go look that up. You think I can find something like that on YouTube, a video, an Irish party? That's what happens though, I swear. So that's why I'm not even when I go to an auction now, I'm bidding, and that's all I'm doing is bidding. I'm not going to answer questions. Don't ask me what stone you think this is. What's your opinion? Because then if I give you my opinion, then you come back and say, "Oh, so and so said it was this and it didn't look like this." And no, I didn't say that. I actually said it this way. But the snowball goes around, and then I even get some idiot come on my chat, come on my video, and accuse me of causing someone's depression. Unreal. Unreal. And I had to say, wow, you must not understand depression if you think that because I ask questions in a chat, someone is now depressed because of me. I mean, this is my life, guys. This is my real life. This is what's been happening. That's why I've been like, should I even go on? Should I even go on live? And so many people that I've had to block for stupid comments like that. Unreal. Oh, by the way, speaking of blocking, that's another thing. Someone asked someone in a chat, "Oh, if you have so and so blocked, she won't be able to see your bids." I'm like, why would you mention someone had someone blocked, put them on the spot like that if they even have someone blocked? And that person probably didn't even have them blocked. And not only that, that was YouTube 10 years ago. All the people that I have blocked, and I probably have 25 people blocked, I can see their chats all day long. They can see mine. They just can't chat. They just can't leave a comment on my videos. So that's a rumor that needs to be put to bed. If you block somebody, they will see you. You will see them in other people's channels. They just cannot come to your channel to leave a comment. That's how blocking works. So please don't ever embarrass somebody else by telling them, if so-and-so is blocked, she won't be able to see your bids. If you blocked her on your channel. I cannot believe the ignorance of some people. Why are people so ignorant? Just not because they don't know that blocking or whatever is not the same like it used to be 10 years ago, but that you would embarrass someone like that or put someone on the spot like that, asking them if they have someone blocked right there in a live chat, in a live auction. It was crazy. I could not believe it. I was like, what? Well, just know, Anna, that if you block someone for whatever reason, you will see that person. If I block someone, I will see them in a chat, in another person's videos. I will see them. They will see me. They will see my bids. I will see their bids. They just cannot come on my videos and leave comments. That's the way blocking works. Now, it used to be like that 10 years ago. I remember that when you couldn't see it. You couldn't see people because you had them blocked for whatever reason. But, I'm sure I'm blocked on some people's channels too. So whatever. We can't all be America's sweetheart, right? Yes, I cringed too. It was awful. I could not believe someone said that. I couldn't believe it. And they said it not in chat. They said it, I don't remember. Did they say it in print? It doesn't matter. Everybody's reading the chat because we want to know what's going on with the bids. So, so embarrassing. I was embarrassed for her, actually. Hi, Miss Cynthia. How are you? Don't you find as you get older that you get quieter because it's just not worth it? Indeed, indeed. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm not participating as far as, if you want to ask me a question, I'll answer it. PM me. But don't ask me, Thelma, what do you think this is? Because I'm not going to answer. And if I see someone blatantly exaggerating or blatantly saying something, I no longer say, no, actually it's this, because it's not appreciated. It's considered harassment. It's considered picking on someone. Even if you ask someone, maybe they already told you the weight of the item or the length, and you ask them again, that might be considered harassment these days. At least that's what I was accused of a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not even asking questions anymore, And believe me, it's my downfall sometimes because I'll get a tiny little pendant that looked about that big when I saw it come up like this. It looks huge. As we get older, we just learn not to speak out. That's true. That's true. But I don't know. I just, for peace and quiet and, like I said, and when somebody has a dispute with someone else or someone misunderstood something in a chat, why do we need 10 cheerleaders? Where are we, middle school? Why do we need 10 people to say, yeah, you're right, or I'm with so and so, or I mean, why? It's just stupid. It's just not worth it. Absolutely. Oh, yes, 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 Cynthia. They change their names often. They change their names often, but like I was saying in my post not too long ago, they can't change their personality or their bad grammar because usually some of them, one that I know, has the worst grammar and the worst personality as far as in auctions, and just kind of obnoxious. And she sounds the same, no matter how many names she has. She's absolutely sounds the same. So you can't change that, right? Carrie, I gather your internet is much better now. I'm glad to hear it. I think my internet is much better too. And I haven't even gotten my modem yet. I'm so excited. I can't believe it though, because I've been asking for a new modem for 2 years. And then oh, you have to buy it. Oh, you can't do this. And then finally, I got someone who cared, and she's like, we're going to send you a new modem. So it should be here in a minute. Yeah, the personality comes through. And they never stray. Unfortunately, there's a whole new league of people coming around though that aren't paying up, and unfortunately gullible people believe some of these people. Guys, be careful if you do auctions. That's all I can say. Be careful, because gullible people will fall prey to people that ingratiate themselves to you, and then they'll pay you, and then you say, okay, well, I'll go ahead and send you my your latest order. I know you'll pay me. And then they wind up never paying you, and then sooner or later, before you know it, they owe you $1,000. Hasn't happened to me, but I know people that it's happened to, and I feel very, very bad for them, because from the goodness of their heart, they think this is a community, and it can be, and it is. And I feel that my community is strong. I really do. I know that I have strong haters, but I have some really strong supporters that just want to hang out, just want to look at jewelry. If they want, they can go to my Facebook auction. If they don't want, they don't have to. If they just want to go watch, they can. But there are people that are preying on the people that are decent human beings. They really are. And like many people have told me, and very good friends have told me, you don't really know anyone here until you really know them. Until you really know them, and then you find out what they're made of. Mm, it can definitely. And I don't know what you know comments people leave here and there, but that one that accused me of this and the other, and that I was the cause of someone staying in bed for 3 days because this and the other. I was just like, lady, you need to read some books on people who have depression and things like that, because if you think it's going to be one little trigger, and if they're triggered by that, it's much more than that. And and if you really thought that, you could have PM me. That's not what you wanted. You wanted to blast. Yesterday too, someone wanted to blast some crazy accusation, and I won't even dignify with bringing it up again. Those who were there know what it was. And I don't know. I thought I knew this person. This person has been around many years, many uh, video chats here and there, or comment sections. I've seen them forever. They've all of a sudden something triggered for them to lash out at me. But and that's expected when you're a moderator, a real moderator, not just everybody who's blue, but a real moderator, and have to call things at auctions, and especially buy it nows. You're going to get backlash. I'm used to it, but I'm still strong there because I love being there and it's fun and I love the jewelry and I don't make any qualms about it. I'm there just like you are for the jewelry and because I support this person with all my heart. It's usually jealousy. I don't know what it is. I think it's sometimes I think it's like for some new people that have just come onto the scene. Don't let it discourage you from making your videos. Make your videos, make them more often, make them different, make them an array, whatever they complained about, do it if that's what you like to do. I mean, I was told about my rings, too many rings. I still get that comment. You wear too many rings. I can't see the jewelry. Okay, well, go watch somebody who doesn't wear the rings because they want you to see the jewelry perfectly fine or because they feel that they can present their jewelry better that way. Go do it over there. Don't watch my channel if it bothers you. I don't understand why you feel the need to make a crazy comment like that, or I don't like your voice, or I speak up. I know I try to speak up. I got a mic too. Can y'all hear me a little bit better? I understand those kinds of things for sure. I don't mind being told that, but it's the way you tell somebody something. But when you just say something like, "Oh, that's a bunch of junk. You wasted your money. You got trash." That's just somebody who's probably, I mean, I can't even say a teenager because I've met teenagers that are very polite, very kind, and would never, ever say anything unkind to someone else, ever. So it's just hatred. If you don't like it, then go watch something else. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's insane. That's just insane. It's really crazy for people to do that. Not everyone's going to sound the same. Not everyone's going to do the same. Some people have beautiful Southern accents. Some people have foreign accents. Some people say things differently. Some people talk faster than others. Some people talk slower than others. But if you are watching that channel just to leave something ugly, you need to go somewhere else. You need to get a teddy bear. You need to cry on that teddy bear and then, maybe if you can, if you're lucky enough and you have a pet, take that pet for a walk, take a couple of deep breaths because there's something wrong with you. If you really feel that you need to go tell someone you don't like their mannerisms or you don't like the way they said this or the other, because that's just petty. I'll never forget one of the very first videos I watched when I used to do a lot of purse videos. And I was really big with the purse community, and I still am, and I still have some really loyal subscribers from there that still come around, and I still watch their videos too. But there was one lady I watched, and I found her so delightful, and I wish she had done more videos. She was a total Dooney and Burke fan, but when she was showing this amazing Dooney and Burke, it was a planner actually, and those things are rare. If you ever get one, in a good condition, you'll get some good money for it. Those old daytimer planners, but it was Dooney and Burke. But she was showing it and she was smoking a cigarette, just smoking her cigarette like it was just the best thing ever. And somebody got on her and said, you shouldn't be smoking cigarettes online and on videos. And I was telling her when she talked about it, and it wasn't live, they didn't do lives back then. And the next comment or video that we did some comments, and I was like, that's exactly what I enjoyed about the video, that you were sitting there enjoying a cigarette that I no longer enjoy. I used to smoke. But it reminded me of my cousins, the ones that I was just telling you about that have ranches and whatever. They've been smoking cigarettes since they were like 11 years old. And there was just something really endearing about watching her. And she was talking about it, and I love watching, but she was real. And that's what I enjoyed about the video, that she was a real person just sharing her beautiful Dooney and Burke buys. And I said, don't ever let anybody tell you what to do. If you want to light up a cigarette, here's the matches. Stop. Stop trying to please everyone because you never will. You never will. Just be yourself. And I keep thinking about that lady because I really, really liked her videos. And then she also did videos about she had beautiful hair. And then she wound up telling us she had She had hair loss. She had quite a bit of hair loss. So she had these amazing wigs, and they didn't even look like wigs. They were so pretty. So we just loved it. And she had a good fan base, but then she just stopped. I guess people harassed her. And don't ever let anybody harass you off of YouTube. You love Doonies as well? I know, me too. Yeah, guys, we've been on an hour and 5 minutes. See, I told you it was going to be a mind bleed here. We were just going to go everywhere. I think I saw, did I see Dad's Vintage Garage in here? Because he's got a cool channel too. I thought I saw. Let me say goodbye to a couple of people if I didn't say hello. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on your way in or out, guys. This will be on the replay. Hopefully it's watchable on the replay. I know sometimes some lives are not. I tried to read the questions. It all comes down to respect. Exactly. Donatella. Donatella, you selling tonight? You took the day off? You need to take a day off. Donatella, my friends. If you don't know her, hi, Dad's Vintage Garage. How are you? Be sure and subscribe to her. She's got a fabulous channel. Follow her around as she finds all kinds of goods from storage units. She bids on storage units. I have bought some amazing things from her, some jewelry you wouldn't believe, jewelry that I actually kept, like that wonderful Christmas necklace that I've never, ever seen another one like it, and just so many things. So be sure and go patronize her auctions, but subscribe to her channel, because I have said it before and I'll say it again. Donatella is the hardest working woman I have ever seen on YouTube. Her and T, oh my gosh, they inspire me. Even like I said, I go watch her videos just for inspiration, because she is just a #1 hustler. She knows how to bring in that income for her family. She's diversified. She's incredible. And all through a tragic life as well, Donatella. And I just admire you so much, because she just puts on those boots every single day. Thank you so much for that super chat, Donatella. It's totally not necessary. You know that. I'm always lauding your work ethic. It's an incredible story. It really is. And I'm so glad I found you. I think I actually saw you, Donatella, for the first time on Adam Exploits. I think he's the one that interviewed you. And I was just intrigued, first of all, because you're Italian, and I just think you're so beautiful. And then you're so articulate, and like I said, your work ethic is incredible. And if you want to know about being bullied on YouTube, she's been there too, and she has not let it faze her. She has become stronger because of it. So anyway, guys, we had enough little brain droppings today. I appreciate all who came in. We talked about ancestry. We talked about background. We talked about crazy chats, harassment in the YouTube community, but still a very tight community indeed. And I'm grateful for all of you out there. I really am. I know that I'm blessed beyond belief to have you guys here with me. I really am. So I appreciate it. I hope to come back with another Heart to Heart very soon. As I said, I did do some recorded videos today. I'm going to try to edit it today. The rest, not the rest, but another little batch of what I found in Chicago. Oh my gosh, I love that city. I just love it for thrifting. I love it because my family's there. But I hope you enjoy those kind of videos as well. We do jewelry. We do Heart to Heart. We do whatever we feel like doing here, because it's our channel. Like it or not, give it a thumbs up. And even if you don't like it, give it a thumbs up, because you enjoyed it. You know you did. You camped out just to give it a thumbs up. You might as well do a thumbs down. You might as well do one going up once in a while. I know, Miss Carrie, and I appreciate your patience. I appreciate that, Miss Cynthia. Thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for all your kind thoughts about everything we spoke about today. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful night. I better get to bed. 6 a.m. comes early. Love you guys so much. Bye-bye.